This is All India Radio, the news read by Abhishek Mukhopadhyay. India has made a landmark announcement of a line of credit worth $1 billion for the development of Far East region of Russia. Prime Minister, while addressing the plenary session of the 5th Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok today, said that India has actively engaged East Asia as part of its Act East policy. Today's announcement will prove to be a take-off point for Act Far East. Mr. Modi said this will also give a new dimension to our economic diplomacy. The Prime Minister said Eastern Economic Forum will not only strengthen the efforts for human welfare in Far East, but also the entire mankind. On the sidelines of Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a bilateral meeting with his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe. During the meeting, both leaders shared similar views on Indo-Pacific region. Briefing media, Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale said both the countries have called for a free and open Indo-Pacific region to make it secure and prosperous. Both leaders decided to hold the first 2+2 ministerial meeting of foreign and defense ministers of both countries ahead of the annual bilateral summit in New Delhi in December this year. They also discussed the importance of trilateral relations with African countries. They also discussed to continue the trilateral meeting of India, Japan and the US for enhancing regional cooperation. Prime Minister Modi met Malaysian Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad and discussed trade matters between the two countries. The Malaysian Prime Minister assured to balance the trade by importing more goods and services from India. Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale informed that the Prime Ministers raised the issue of extradition of Zakir Naik and asserted that the Indian officials will continue to hold deliberations with Malaysia in this regard. Mr. Modi will also hold talks with Mongolian President Khaltmagin Battulga, who is scheduled to visit India this month. They discuss about India's assistance in the ongoing oil refinery project in Mongolia and people-to-people contact. The Supreme Court today refused to grant anticipatory bail to P. Chidambaram in the INX media money laundering case lodged by the Enforcement Directorate. The top court dismissed Chidambaram's plea challenging the Delhi High Court verdict, denying him anticipatory bail in the case. Court said that anticipatory bail cannot be given as a matter of right of accused. A bench of Justices R. Bhanumati and A.S. Popanna said this is not a fit case to grant anticipatory bail, saying grant of bail at this stage will hamper investigation. The Apex Court further said the investigating agency has to be given sufficient freedom to conduct probe into the case. It also rejected Chidambaram's application for direction to the ED to produce transcripts of his questioning conducted by the agency. However, the court said Chidambaram can approach the court concerned for grant of regular bail in the case. Meanwhile, the Apex Court allowed Chidambaram to withdraw his plea against non-bailable warrant and remand orders of the trial court in the INX media corruption case lodged by the CBI. President Ramnath Kovind today gave away the National Teachers Award to 46 teachers in New Delhi. The award is given to meritorious teachers on Teachers' Day to celebrate the unique contribution of teachers and to honor those teachers who have improved the quality of school education and enriched the lives of students. In Mumbai, life has started returning to normalcy with water on railway tracks receding and suburban train services on all three lines, Central, Harbour and Western resuming. The rains too have stopped since yesterday evening, and this has brought in a lot of respite to the harried people. The Central Railway has rescheduled many long-distance trains running on the main line. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal in a tweet informed about it and said the railway officials and personnel are all working towards not causing further inconvenience to the people. Global Anti-Terror Agency FATF is tightening the noose around Pakistan. The Asia-Pacific group of the FATF will evaluate Pakistan's compliance on its 27-point action plan in Bangkok early next week. The move is significant since it will be one of the major points while assessing the final review of Pakistan by the International Group of Money Laundering and Terror Financing. The final decision as to whether Pakistan will be downgraded to the blacklist is to be made by the plenary and working group meetings of the task force scheduled for October 13 to 18 in Paris. The world body has already put Pakistan in its watch list for its failure to meet the global standards and put in terror financing and money laundering. FATF in its meeting last month in Canberra found that Pakistan was non-compliant on 32 out of 40 parameters of terror financing and money laundering. On 11 effectiveness parameters of its rating was abysmally low at 10. Canadian team Bianca Andreescu became the first teen US Open semi-finalist in a decade, defeating Belgium's Elsie Martens to set up a battle with Belinda Bencic for a spot in the finals. And that is the end of this news bulletin.